I hear we got an attempted cop killer in here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be this dirtbag right here.
No, dude.
What do you have?
It was not me. Look,
Hmm.
I woke up. I was standing there in the cold. I dehydrated. I was in reality getting a bunch of
Dehydrated, like.
food. Came back and I was dead. And dude,
Yep,
I was just
dude.
handcuffed.
Alright, well, let
What?
me tell you how this is gonna go down. You know what? Hold your breath. I'm gonna tell you my story. You can tell me yours, okay?
All right. Yeah.
So, a one man jacks what do you even call that fucking thing? A woodchuck? I like to call it the National Lampoon. Anyway, he's sitting there wearing a red sweater. Cop identifies him in a 1080 as a one Mr. Durk Banks, which, God forbid, that's your
How?
birth name. Now, I
I
see that man get into the
okay.
car,
Hey,
drive. I'm
what's up?
sorry, I'm still talking here, sir.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Don't
Sorry.
worry, I'm a fair guy. I'll let you tell your story. Just let me finish.
Okay.
So, I see this guy get into the car, drive up the highway. I chase after him. Guy points a gun at me, tells me to get out of the car. I stop, get out of the car. He shoots me. Thanks to my brothers and sisters in blue here, I managed to survive. I then pledge my life to hunt this man down. Okay? So, lo and behold, I get a car fire report and I go down to cocaine processing, and God forbid the whole city knows that
Fox
you
15 to Fox
do a
16,
lot of cocaine processing, Mr. Durk Banks.
16. Send it.
So we
No.
get there, and there's a woman
Do you
there.
have permission
And the
from
I've only
woman,
been
by
caught
the
once,
individual?
yep,
sir.
and there's a car there, the same exact
Fifteen,
woodchuck that I was talking about.
16.
And lo and behold, the one citizen that's there says your name without even being asked. What are the odds of you being in two places identified by two completely different people next to the same car that I was chasing the suspect?
Wait, I'm confused. Who the boss?
My point is, Mr. Banks,
My.
I seen a man in a red sweater. Someone
Yeah,
identifies him as
but
Dirk
look,
Banks, get
I
into a
just had a couple
woodchuck,
of my friends
and then I
earlier
find the
tonight try to
woodchuck.
switch my sweater because there was a bunch
Fox
of guys
16
running
plus
around with
1,
the same
23
sweater as
PD.
me, man. And I literally, I woke up.
I've
I
literally
was,
been in the city all night and I haven't seen a single person but you with a red sweater.
dude, I had a couple of my friends a little before they went to sleep. They were like, there was a bunch of people wearing your red sweater. You might want to
Mm-hmm.
change that, but I never changed it because I didn't really care. But I woke up. I was standing there. Look, this is my point, my story. I woke up. I was standing there for like a good maybe 15 minutes. My water was low. I guess whenever I woke up, my water was not. It was. I was dehydrated. But I wasn't even doing nothing for the past like fucking 20 minutes. I was in reality, if you know what I mean. And that's on God. That's on everything, dude. I promise that.
Yeah,
So,
well, I want to believe you, but like I said, I know for a fact you've been in this city for a while since the first identification of you was over an hour ago.
Let me butt in there too.
what?
Story's not checking out here.
I've been
Just
standing
woke up.
here.
He said he just woke up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I woke up. No, that was the steps. Since I've woke up, I woke up a little while ago, maybe like 30 minutes ago. I went to go get a bunch of food in reality. I sat there where I was standing, where I passed out. I went to go eat my food, and then I passed out. And then I look up. I like on my phone I tabbed, and then I was arrested. And yeah, that's why I wasn't responding at first. Dude, you have my word, man.
well, I
Oh,
mean, I looked the guy right in the face when he shot me, and he was dressed just like you with the same
I don't
haircut and
know,
everything.
dude. Like I don't know. Like it just sounds to me like you might think it was me, but it really wasn't me.
Well,
Because who
I mean, let's
knows
be
how
honest here.
far
What are the
away
odds of two
I don't
random
look
people
right in your
identifying you
face. I think that like
for no
they were
reason?
probably kind of far away from you.
Again, like I said, sir, why would we arrive on coke processing where the car that the pursuit began with is sitting there
Dude,
smoldering?
where I was standing, was the car around?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And the woman who's standing right next to it, we asked her what happened, and she said Mr. Durk Banks showed up, acted like an asshole in that car.
No, who is the woman? Because I don't know any woman.
I don't need to give you that information for her
Well,
safety or
that's
yours.
the thing, dude. I don't know any woman. She just assumes my name because of my hoodie. What? I don't get it.
I'll tell you what, Mr.
That's
Banks.
right, literally came in.
You have one phone call. You need a lawyer. You're more than welcome to call a lawyer. But right now, you're facing 2 charges. Multiple charges, sorry. You're facing 3 charges of attempted murder on an LEO, a Grand Theft Auto charge, fleeing and eluding, possession of a stolen or possession of an illegal firearm. I mean, the list goes on here, but
Dude, I get that, but like, dude, you have the wrong guy.
I don't think you know how the justice system works, okay? I have my evidence here that says you did it. Now, where's your evidence that says you didn't?
All your evidence is what? I was passed out by a car that was stolen.
Guilty until proven innocent. Like I said, you want a lawyer, you got any alibi, anyone to back up your story, you're more than welcome to take them.
And so proven guilty in the court of law.
Except for when I have evidence. And I guarantee you, you'll be guilty in a court of law.
You
got nothing, and I got plenty.
I got nothing because I haven't been here. I was daydreaming.
Says you. Far as I know, I mean, if I recall correctly, I'm the officer that arrested you on this one time you've been arrested.
I'm so confused.
I know you as a criminal.
Yeah, but I literally just woke up right there.
Like I said, Mr. Banks, you've been read your rights. You need a lawyer. You're more than welcome to appoint one.
Okay. Go get a lawyer, I guess.
One's been called already.
Thank you, man. Dude.
Mr. Banks, you just sit tight here. I'm going to go discuss this with my
I'm confused.
fellow employees.
So what? I don't understand completely what happened. Like, what even happened?
I think you know the answer to that better than I do.
You said I shot what?
Like I said, Mr. Banks, as far as I'm concerned, you're guilty, and I don't have to tell you what you did.
Dude, I think
You know
it's
what
just
you did.
because you don't like me or something, bro, to be honest. Because
Sylvan, can you come with me, please?
Yep.
because man, you know,
Good luck, Mr. Banks.
Alright.
I mean like
The charges are gonna be a little bit different.
We didn't find a shotgun on him either.
Well, what's the shotgun have to do with it?
What, the one that he shot you with, correct?
He didn't shoot me with a shotgun. I never said he had a shotgun.
Okay. So what did he shoot you with? Do you remember?
It had to be a pistol. He couldn't hit me with a sawed-off from that range.
Okay.
And there's an automatic pistol, so
Dispatch, showing 1041, 10-8, Toledo Bay.
my guess would be he dumped pistol rounds at me or an automatic pistol.
He had a CPR.
Must have been a combat pistol.
I've seen people fire a pistol hella fast, I know that, so.
He definitely used to consider fire at me.
Who was it that identified him as Durk Banks when he stole the car?
Me.
And you're positive?
Yeah. I think Sarah was screaming, "Dirk, come back!"
Yeah, fair enough.
That's
Wow.
what was pretty much freaking out. I actually didn't see him until he got out.
I've caught him. I was the one who caught him the first time he's ever been arrested, and he's a crafty son of a bitch, but he knows he's guilty. And the problem is that he plays this trick that he's doing right now where he tries to twist the OOC into the IC, and it makes it a real pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Also, time's up. FYI.
Well, the thing that seals the deal for me is we didn't even mention his name, and LaFay was like, "Yeah, it was Durk Banks." Like she said it. Her and frickin' Jesus knew without a doubt it was him. So
So it's gonna be 2 times attempted murder of an LEO, 2 times slaying and looting, 2 times reckless driving, 2 times failure to conceal, 4 times threaten to harm,
Hold on 1 second. 2 times fleeing. Oh, sorry. Start over. 2 times LEO, 2 times fleeing and eluding.
2 times reckless driving,
Jesus. You don't
3
like this
times
guy.
failure to conceal.
Well, I mean,
2 times what was that last one?
This is 2 times reckless driving,
Yep.
3 times failure to conceal, 4 times threaten to harm,
4 times threatened to harm. When did he threaten this?
He threatened me, the
verbally?
vehicle. Yeah, he's yelling out the window. He was like,
threaten to harm with a deadly
if
weapon
you
to
don't
be
stop.
correct.
Yeah, he's like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna shoot. So I stopped. He took off. I followed. He got out of the car and then started shooting.
Okay. So you have 2 times LEO, 2 times fleeing, 2 times reckless, 3 times failure to conceal, 4 times threaten to harm.
2 times unlawful discharge, 1 times grand theft auto.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here
possession, too. He had some-
is we're gonna alter these a little bit because they're a little over the top. Some of them are more repetitive when they don't need to be. So failure to conceal is gonna be 1 times because once you pull the gun out, it's unconcealed. It doesn't matter how many times you pull it after that; it's still unconcealed. 4 times threaten to harm. Why is it 4 times? You said he verbally threatened you once, right? It's not like per sentence or anything like that. It's
No,
just
he
one threat.
pointed a gun at her and her cadet.
Okay.
Then he pulled out the gun again and pointed it at her. Then he pointed it at you, correct?
Yeah, we'll change that from threaten to harm, which is actually worse for him. We're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna make it
Threaten
2
to harm with a
times.
deadly weapon.
2 times. What was the word I'm looking for here? I just had it. Hold on, it's on the edge of my tongue. Possession, legal firearm, discharging, which we also have to hit him with that. Okay, you got the 2 times charge, discharge there.
Is everything okay, guys, man?
Yeah, if he did failure to conceal and he pointed the gun at you and threatened to harm, we'll give him 1 time threaten to harm, 1 time failure to conceal. He's already going to be looking at way over the max for the LEOs, fleeing and a reckless.
There
So,
is no max anymore.
Is it a lot?
Jesus Christ,
make
Yep.
sure you get possession too. He had 61.
Coke.
Yeah, 61.
He's such a lying piece of shit.
Yep.
Possession.
very smart.
Yep.
Okay, so what we got total here is 1 possession, 2 times LEO, 2 times fleeing, 2 times reckless, 2 times discharge, 1 GTA, 1 threaten to harm, 1 failure to conceal. And then what I'm gonna do here is, me personally, I like to give everyone wiggle room in some way, shape, or form. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer him some sort of wiggle room on what. I haven't even checked this. I feel like an idiot. What are we allowed to change now? Because the shit changes every other week.
Jail time.
Jail time.
Yeah, tell
Only
me that's
fine
it.
is what it is.
That's it.
All the time by a maximum of 50%.
Yeah,
Or
makes
you can
sense.
increase
It was the other way around before that, and then they changed it, and then they changed it again.
To be honest, I would like to kind of knock him up to 25%. That's just me though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give him a lot of wiggle room, but I want to give him some wiggle room in exchange for him telling the truth. I want to hear him cave, and I want him to tell me everything that he did. I want to hear him say it out loud. So that's the only way.
Alright, sounds good.
Hold
If
on
not,
one
then
sec. My
I'll
feet
cut
are stuck.
5%.
Who is allowed to clearance to 25?
Sergeant
Highest
Bob?
ranking officer at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys are all the same rank.
Yeah, pretty much.
PPOs are the same as like,
Odds are he's not gonna tell us anyway, so we're probably gonna have to hit him with the max anyway.
Yeah.
okay, good. He deserves it, sorry.
He's a cuckold.
Oh no, it was
If it's
crystal
just
clear.
the-
There was
It's
no
just the same. You just say that.
Come on.
So I'm getting arrested just because I have the same color clothes as somebody. Man,
Well, here's the thing, okay, Mr. Banks. Now, here is where I want to see you try to wiggle your way out of this lie. So, like I said, I go to the scrapyard, I find the flaming wagon there. So, you know, victim says, random person there says that they saw Mr. Durk Banks. And that location is also a known coke processing area. And here you are found with processed coke on your possession.
What?
So, what are the odds of you, quote unquote, not being there even though you're carrying the coke on you?
Because that was
Everything about you right now points to the truth.
No, that was from last storm, dude. Trust me.
Alright, well, you said you wanted a lawyer, right? Are we still waiting? What happened with that lawyer?
No lawyer.
Oh,
Time's up.
tough luck.
Like, I'm telling you, dude, I was standing there by myself with nobody. I haven't even talked to nobody since I woke up, dude. I'm eating.
They didn't say you talked to him. They just say you seen you acting like an asshole.
No, I was just eating in my head.
Alright, Mr. Banks.
In front of that place.
Oh, here's how this is gonna go, okay, buddy? You're looking at 1 charge of possession, 2 charges of attempted murder on an LEO, 2 charges of fleeing and eluding. I'm sorry, do you want to hear all this? Because I guarantee you're gonna want to hear it all.
No, not really.
2 times charges of reckless driving, 1 time charge of Grand Theft Auto, 1 charge of threat to harm, 1 charge of failure to conceal firearm, 2 charges of discharging a firearm, an illegal firearm. Now, Mr. Banks, what you're gonna be looking at here, which I haven't summed it, but it's gonna be
I think it was me.
a truckload of jail time in the state penitentiary, followed by a fine that can't be waived. Now, the only hope you have here of me waiving anything is your jail time, and the only way that that's happening is if you stop being a lying piece of shit right now and you tell me exactly the truth. I'm going to charge you either way. I just want to hear you say it out of your own mouth, and if you do that, you can spend a lot less time in jail.
How much?
25% off.
What would that be?
A quarter of whatever your time is.
What would my time be?
Let me put it this way. We don't have a cap on time right now.
Okay.
I can sum it up for you and give you the exact numbers if it makes that big of a difference to you.
But my question is how can you charge someone off the color of their clothes? Someone could have had another red hoodie on, bro.
Mr. Banks, you realize that by the question that you just asked me, how much time would that save me, tells me you're guilty.
No.
You're considering the fact on how much time you're going to save because you know you're guilty. You're going to face this one way or the other.
No, I was just asking what I'm attempted to be charged with.
Alright, well, let me add it up while you go ahead and you speak your gibberish.
Okay, look, it's not gibberish, dude. It's just honesty. It's justice. Like, I'm wearing a red hoodie, yeah. I'm wearing tan pants, okay. But there's other people around town who wear hoodies, like red hoodies.
Like I said, Mr. Bank, two people identified you by your visuals, not by your sweater. They didn't go, oh, he's wearing a red sweater. It must be Durk Banks.
Where did they identify me? I haven't talked to anyone since I woke up.
You were identified when you were stealing the vehicle, and you were identified at the coke location by people on nearby.
Where was the vehicle stolen?
You'll have to ask the officer who saw you.
Wait, hold on.
Who is the officer
Sullivan.
who saw me steal a
You
vehicle?
with me?
Yeah,
Who
one
is
sec.
that? I want to know that.
Hold on 1 second here. Just give me 1 sec. I'm still tallying these up just so we can get an idea.
Because like we can justify this right here, like without sending me to jail for whatever the fuck I didn't do. Like I don't even know what you guys are all getting me for in the first place. That's why I'm asking these questions so I can figure out who saw me, what cop saw me steal a vehicle. Cause I want to see their evidence. Because I don't believe in just them saying they saw me because and they assumed it was me because I'm wearing a red hoodie. You know what I mean?
Mr. Banks, they saw your face. Like, you can say you're not wearing a mask or anything. It'd be pretty obvious.
When did you supposedly see my face?
Multiple people saw your face, Mr. Banks. Like I said, you don't have an alibi to back up your defense, but you got plenty against you. So until you can come up with something otherwise, you're in big trouble here. And just so you know, the jail time you're looking at is 139 months in the state penitentiary, followed by an $81,000 state fine.
I don't understand how this is even justifiable.
You think about it, Mr. Banks. You think about my offer.
It's been ID'd by, I believe you said Flora, Jesus, Miss Cha, and Sarah Salt.
Mm-hmm.
And Tibet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give him names because he doesn't need to know the names. And one thing you'll learn is this moment you give them names, they come out of jail and they start hunting these people down.
Yep.
That's what I was worried about. That's why I said, please shut up and listen. I didn't mean to like shut up. But
What's your radio
I
check?
was
What is my
10-2.
10
what
2.
is my possible
Do
jail
we have
time?
units for one of those 1035s?
We're currently in the middle of an arraignment at Vespucci Police Department at this time.
This is
10-4, I'm gonna be
bogus, bro. I feel like I'm
1076.
being like arrested.
10
on
4,
the
Sarah
off
1
just
8,
because,
showing you
like,
1076.
I literally just woke up.
Mr. Banks, just to give you an idea, and again, I'm not going to give you names, and I'm not required by law to give you names. You've been identified by 4 people during the times of these crimes.
4 people. I haven't even done nothing.
Apparently you did.
What the fuck? Where? When?
It sounds like you were maybe dipping into your own stash there, Mr. Banks.
What,
Maybe
what,
snorting too many lines.
do that? What crimes I do?
I just listed them off to you, the crimes you'll be going to jail for. Stealing a
GTA,
car,
okay,
attacking a police officer,
GTA.
manufacturing drugs.
What car did I steal? Who said that? Where's the
Hey,
evidence about that? That's what I mean.
real quick, Berhart. You said that the coke on him was refined, right?
processed there, yes. That's
Yep.
correct.
Oh, so let's stack that one on there, Mr. Banks. That'd be manufacturing right there.
61 units.
Man,
of
you were just trying to get
processed
me.
cocaine.
Well, cops, you're a bad guy. Of course I'm trying to get you.
But like,
All right, Mr. Banks, you're looking at 151 months in the state penitentiary. If you sit here in front of all of us and you tell us what you did and you confess to this crime and you tell me the truth, because I already know it. So, I mean, you can sit here and bullshit me all day. We'll
nah,
take
you're
25%
lucky
off.
there's not a fucking lawyer. Let's be real. Because there's literally no.
Mr. Banks, you ever seen me negotiate with a lawyer? Because I assure you, you wouldn't get much. You wouldn't get very
no
far.
evidence about this. Like there's no evidence. Like there is no. Who's the evidence? Where you say eyewitnesses? Okay, where are they at? Like what? Just because someone says that a red guy, they did not identify me as a thing.
Mr. Banks, have you ever watched a movie or like a cop show or anything like that?
Yeah.
You ever seen a suspect sit inside of an interrogation room and then the
So,
police
it should
bring
be
in the
10.2.
victim and tell you, hey, yeah, this person said you did it? No. That's why you're not seeing any faces, because we're not going to go ahead and show you people who ratted you out.
Nobody ratted me out because
I assure you they did.
That's what I'm. No.
Mr. Banks, I don't know if you've realized this yet, but I am 100% confident and secure in throwing your ass in jail. I literally feel no remorse in this because I've got more than enough evidence to prove that you did it. I'm only giving you leeway because, contrary to your belief, I'm a nice guy. So, what's it gonna be?
Dispatch 021. Go ahead and just book him.
I didn't do it, man.
It's obvious that
Y'all are
he's
petty.
not gonna, give anything out, so.
Alright, Mr. Banks, I was gonna go ahead and give you a leeway of 40 months, but, since you don't want to be cooperative about it, we're just gonna hit you with the whole sack.
Oh. Durk Banks
Up it
did
by
it. Oh,
25%.
let's go arrest him. 'Cause he said he did it.
And move back a little bit just so they can notice.
No evidence towards it, but just because they said it.
We got plenty of evidence, Mr. Banks.
No, you don't.
I got the whole thing recorded on dash cameras. I got, notes, voice recordings, you name it.
No, I want to see the dash cam then.
You don't need to see this dash cam. You can come and get it after you're out of jail or when your lawyer actually files an appeal.
You can't make a fucking warrant instantly like that. You got to go through the process. Just like you said, you got it on dash cam and prove
There was a warrant out for you this whole time, Mr. Banks.
No, there wasn't.
Oh, yeah, there was. We wrote it up the moment you were first identified.
And when exactly was that supposed?
Earlier this evening?
When?
I don't understand why this is relevant to you, Mr. Banks.
Because this is questions that I can ask to fight this whenever I have GoPro too. So this is evidence that I can ask to gather information on what exactly you're taking protocol on right here, because it's not right.
I don't know
What
the
you're
exact
saying-
time, Mr. Banks. Maybe an hour ago.
What you're wait, what did you say?
I'd say maybe that the what would you call it? The warrant was maybe put out an hour ago. So we've been in here for about a
You
half
said you
hour.
got shot for an hour ago.
No, the warrant was placed out for you an hour ago.
An hour ago, and this warrant is on shooting a cop.
And stealing a car, yeah, among
an
other
hour
things.
ago?
I would say roughly.
Okay, I have evidence for the past like hour of what I've been doing. So okay, good. Thank you for the information. I'll take that against the government website. Have a good day, sir.
You have
Thank you for my
evidence?
time.
Well, you're
I'm
twisting it completely the wrong way. If you have evidence, you're more than welcome to show it. Because I believe, and
No,
everyone
I'll
here
take
no.
I'll take it to court. I'll have your badge because you are taking honestly over. You're being kind of taking your powers a little too high right here with that badge.
If you believe so, Mr. Banks, but I got 4 witnesses who all heard me ask you for your alibi and evidence that you
But
were doing something
you
otherwise, and
see
you
here,
chose
whenever
not
we
to
go
submit it.
court-
That is
whenever we
entirely
go
your
to
choice.
court, they won't have proper evidence to prove it in court. Then it'll be justified correctly. So I'm fine with doing this time, but no, whenever you get out, you'll be dealt with.
Alright,
Let's
Mr.
go.
Banks, I'll also record that you were threatening me, so we'll
No,
put that
that's
aside
not
and
threat.
make sure,
That's
one
not
of us
threat.
was being the bigger
just
man
know
here.
I'm taking you to court. We're going to court. We're justifying this. And a complaint.
Alright, Mr. Banks, like I said, evidence
It's
is
against
evidence.
the law to threaten to someone to take him to court.
Alright, Mr. Banks, whatever you say. We're
not.
all on your side here.
No, you're not, man. You're fucking me over, dude. I told you. And they'll see it. They'll see me standing there, eating my food for the past. You said it was an hour. Okay, I have my GoPro for 2 hours, so that's good. It'll prove that I was just standing there.
Sierra 2-1, we're gonna need a lift for one new 1017. It's gonna be heading to Bolingbrook for 130 months in the state penitentiary.
Good luck in court. I'll
You
have
too,
your
Mr.
job.
Banks.
I mean, you won't. But
Okay.
I won't mind.
Well, not me. Yeah, but got him.